The global water shortage is apparently much worse than scientists originally thought, according to a new study. Huffington Post reports here, more than 70%, which is 4 billion people of the world's population, lives without sufficient access to fresh water for at least 1 month of the year. That's amazing. 70%. Previous studies estimated that between 1.7 and 3.1 billion people lived with moderate to severe water scarcity for at least 1 month out of the year, so it's significantly higher than what even the worst case scenario was. The consequences of water scarcity can result in economic losses due to crop failure, limited food availability, and poor business viability, and can threaten environmental biodiversity. When faced with scarcity, areas in need of fresh water often resort to pumping groundwater, which can permanently deplete the supply. Water shortages have also precipitated or heightened the potential for global conflicts in places like the Middle East and Africa. All right, so here's why this story is so important. It's a real issue. I always find it amazing when you tune into the Republican debates and all they're talking about is big, bad, scary, evil immigrants and big, bad, scary, evil ISIS. Meanwhile, when you look at the statistics, how many Americans exactly has ISIS killed in the past year, 2 years, 3 years? Now, you compare that to the very, very real and in-your-face and close-up problems, not only with the environment, but also with other things that go completely ignored in a Republican debate. Gun violence, which kills 32,000 people in America every single year. Money in politics, which makes it so that our government does not listen to us in any way, shape, or form. And which makes it so that ExxonMobil can control our energy policy. And when you do that, you're going to have increased climate change, you're going to have increased pollution. When you have industry running the government, industry's going to get away with whatever the fuck they want, even if it's a toxic chemical company, for example, and they poison the groundwater. Did you know that fracking, there's a loophole in the law which allows fracking companies to not abide by the Clean Water and Clean Air Act? They call it the Halliburton loophole because they lobbied for it. So when you have something like that, we're shooting ourselves in the foot as the problem gets worse around us also. So you have a problem of a fresh water crisis, a water crisis around the world, and then on top of that, we're poisoning our groundwater supply in some places because of fracking, and we don't have efficient regulation to make it so that we have industry acting within the rules and they don't poison everybody. Okay, these are the real issues. We've had a fucking methane leak in California for what, a month now? And it took them a really long time to even figure out how they could begin to fix it. They said it was the worst natural disaster and crisis since maybe the BP oil spill, which is crazy to think about because it's gas you can't even see that's being emitted into the atmosphere. You need to look at it through a specific lens in order to see it come out. No, see, these are the real big problems that we face that have long-term issues that are tied into it. You know, it's all fun and games until the food supply starts dwindling away. It's all fun and games until the price of normal goods that you need from the store shoots up 4 times what they are right now. It's all fun and games until there's drought. I mean, this is stuff that we ignore, and we know what the answer is too, by the way. Science. Obviously, you get money out of the political system so that we can actually start to address these issues as opposed to just having a government bought by the industry. But once you do that, the answer is the fucking people who are really trying to figure out the solutions. You know, the people who have on the fucking lab coats that are doing the studies and going around and saying, okay, how can we fix this? How can we fix that? They're trying to, for example, find a more efficient way to desalinate water. So you can take salt water and, oh, look, we made it fresh water. Would that solve the problem? I think it would solve the problem of the water shortage. So the answers are out there. We just need to invest in it and give a shit enough to address it. But we have politicians where even on the Democratic side, they're not addressing this in any serious way that really tackles the heart of the problem. The Democrats might go further than the Republicans, but that doesn't mean anything. That means you're the tallest kid in kindergarten. That's not something to write home about. So we got to get the money out of the political system so we can address these problems. And then when we do massive investment into the various fields of science where they're trying to figure out how to solve the water crisis and they're trying to figure out how to, fix climate change in a more effective way. And if we don't do that, man, are our great-grandchildren going to hate us.